Joining us now to talk about Greece's troubled tourism industry is George Drakopoulos. He's the General Manager of the Association of Greek Tourism Enterprises. So we've seen, Mr. Drakopoulos, that 2012 has seen a reversal of fortunes for the Greek tourism industry. Why has there been such a dramatic drop in bookings?
Good morning, Kalimera from Athens. I do not know whether it's dramatic for the whole year. It is true that after the last year's record we made with 16.4 million international arrivals, we were estimating a drop. We have put as a target to stabilize around 16 million. So the first 4 months, January to April, saw the decrease of minus 3.5, which was more or less expected. The problem started right after the elections, when bookings dropped significantly, sometimes reached the level of minus 50%, which is really worrying. However, the problem is not that big because it does not rely on the quality, on the competitiveness of the tourist product. If that was the case, I would be very worried. But now we expect that if we form a government right after the election of 17 June, bookings will pick up and we're going to cover a lot of what we have lost so far.
What can you do to get German tourists back? Because they're incredibly crucial to your industry, and it seems that they're starting to take this whole debacle personally. For example, some Germans talking about scenes of their flag being burnt in the streets of Athens.
It is true, we have a serious problem with the German market. I understand Germans how they feel about the situation here, despite the fact that this is the feeling expressed and what the climate has been created reflects only what I call a noisy minority. The vast majority of Greeks love Germans. Germans are more than welcome in our country. However, in this situation we can do nothing. The only thing we can do is stabilize the country, stabilize the economy, and then start communicating the right message. Greece is here, tourism is here, we are welcoming every tourist, so moreover the Germans.
Well, you identified the one thing that you can do, and that is to communicate. So what are you doing to that end when it comes to advertising? Can you actually afford major advertising campaigns to try and bring people back?
I do not think advertising now is a good idea. There's nothing to do. The thing we do, we invite people who have already visited the country, have already been here this time, to communicate what they have seen. And another time, other side, we invite journalists so they can see by themselves, at first-hand approach, how is the country, and they can talk out to the people. If you stop out in Athens and you talk with 10 people, maybe you'll find few of them who are against Merkel, but not against the average German citizen. We'll have to distinguish between the feelings of Greeks towards Germans in general and the feelings of some Greeks towards Merkel. This is a totally different thing. But advertising now has nothing to do. Word of mouth is much better, and as soon as the country stabilizes, I think Germans will definitely come back. Germany is our biggest partner, not only in tourism, but in commerce in general.
So word of mouth, I was going to say word of mouth might help you on the German front, but you do need to get more tourists there. Some people are saying that the discounts aren't as much as they might expect. Should you lower prices across the board even more?
No, pricing is not a problem now. Greek tourism now offers a very good value for money, and the proof of the last year's record is more than enough. So what we do to balance the loss of the German market, we try to increase some other markets. We have an increase from the Russian market. Last year was plus 63%, and for this year we expect something like more than 30% increase. Markets like Turkey and Israel and the neighboring, like Fyrom or Bulgaria and Romania, are so a very good increase. So we will concentrate on that, trying to balance the loss from the German market.
You say value for money. Are these tourists getting a bargain? Are they getting a cheap holiday?
Cheap holiday is not necessarily value for money. So if we're looking to devalue a product, if we're looking only to the cheap prices, it's not our policy, it's not our target. Greece being in Eurozone cannot be a very cheap destination, and we do not want to be a very cheap destination. We want to be a good destination offering good value for money. And last year, after the decrease of VAT on the accommodation, I think we reached levels we have never reached before. And if you check the opinions of the tourists who already visited the country, yes, now we have made big progress in that direction.
George Drakopoulos, the General Manager of the Association of Greek Tourism Enterprise. Thanks very much for being with us from Athens today.